MSNBC has a segment called Millennial Money or whatever money. Sometimes they don't even be millennials. Or they be Generation X or Generation Z or something like that. And so this man is saying that he makes $112,000 a year as a travel nurse in Pelican Bay. Hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. If y'all not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's get it.
Initially working at the county jails and getting introduced to correctional nursing, I wasn't necessarily scared. I was more like aware, knowing that things could go from 0 to 100 very quickly, from 1 to 400 people in a yard. It's something you don't experience on the outside. You don't feel that in the hospital. You don't feel that in a nursing home. My name is Kevin Lau. I'm 24 years old. I make over $112,000 a year, and I live in Brookings, Oregon.
Shout out to that young man making 112 bands a year at 24 years old. You know why? Because he's doing a job that most people would shun or they wouldn't want to do. Most people don't want to be a travel nurse in a prison. Most people don't. Shout out to you. I appreciate you for the super chat. Most people don't want to be a travel nurse in a prison.
My current job is I'm a clinic nurse at Pelican Bay Prison. We have a lot of different.
That's what Alonzo on training day was saying that he was going to send people to. That's what Alonzo on training day said he was going to send people to. Pelican Bay.
Rotating posts. So it could be medication pass. It could be I'm sitting on a 1-to-1 for a suicide watch. It could be I'm working the clinic. It's whatever Pelican Bay needs me to do.
Y'all think that he underpaid? Y'all think that $112,000 a year at 24 years old working in the prison is underpaid? Because y'all also have to remember, and I know this because not only did I coach, but I hosted a panel where I had 3 male travel nurses telling y'all exactly what was going on inside of the Patreon. What do you say, 112? Yeah, $112,000, right? Do y'all think that that is too low of pay? And y'all also got to remember that they get a stipend, right? So because he's a travel nurse, they get extra benefits as far as a stipend for housing and all of this stuff. So their costs are largely accommodated for because when they go into these places, they get extra perks and benefits that come along with it. Y'all think that that's too low? Wow. Where have our standards gone? He's only 24. Most 24-year-olds is usually in debt and they don't even know what they want to do with their life. He getting to the bag. I thought he was getting to the bag. I thought that $112,000 a year was awesome. Wow. I thought that he was doing awesome. I want to see how he manages budget, so let me go through this.
Working in a prison is definitely different from working from other settings. You're stepping into somewhere that has pre-established culture, a rules-based kind of organization. If people come into my hospital and work on the outside, I'm like, you're coming to my workplace, I'm treating you or I'm caring for you, but it's not.
Molly says he's risking his health and his life too. A lot of people take jobs that they risk their health and their life for. When I was working in a steel mill every day, that's why they made us wear hard hats and gloves, and we had to have steel toes, and you couldn't go out there. It was a chance you would risk your life and your health every single day. You working around heavy equipment. I know linemen. Linemen are the people that jump up on the poles when y'all lose y'all power. They make a ton of money, but they put their life and their health on the line every day. I know some union construction members that make a bag. I know people that work in oil, right, on oil rigs, and they make a whole lot of money and they get a lot of vacations. It's a job that men do. Men just put their lives on the line. They may get paid commensurate for it, but they put their lives on the line all the time in order to make sure that we get the things done that we need in society. We take a lot of people for granted a lot of times, I think, too. I think that there's a lot of jobs that we don't really appreciate. Like, we just expect for our internet to be on. We expect for our power to be on. We expect for prisoners not to escape. We expect for us to be able to go to the gas station to get gas. We expect for a lot of this. So we expect for us to be able to buy stuff. The only time that people started really appreciating workers was when they couldn't get what they wanted during the pandemic. That's the only time that they started appreciating people. When you couldn't get what you wanted in the pandemic.
Like that in prison. You're coming to their home and I just work there. There's an air of caution that you need to step very carefully and be aware of your environment when you come in, you know? Like, I can't leave pens, staplers, and scissors out because I don't want to get shanked in my side.
Shout out to Levite. Shout out to Levite Apparel from Mike That Dude. I appreciate you. Shout out for the love, Levite.
Since travel nursing, it really gave me an opportunity to earn a higher income than I typically would working non-travel nursing gigs. I'm currently making $42 an hour.
You make $42 an hour, you banking.
And at 40 hours a week, that comes out to be $1,600 a week, plus my reimbursement and stipend. For my budget, I didn't want to go over $2,000. I try to keep it minimal because I'm only going to be living here in the short term. Things I like to splurge on is groceries.
This dude is killing it. He is absolutely killing it. Look at this budget. Look at this budget. Check it. I'm guessing his housing and utilities is probably where he's from back home, which a lot of times I tell travel nurses, it depends on how often you are on the road. If you on the road and you killing it and you working it and you getting to it, I coach travel nurses all the time. Mostly male travel. I don't have no female travel nurses. Where my female travel nurses at? Ain't no female nurses out here in these streets. I coach male travel nurses all the time. And a lot of times I was looking at their lifestyle over a period of years, and they very rarely ever go home. I said, you got a parents' house? Yeah, my mama be wanting me to keep my stuff. And I said, why don't you just keep your stuff at their house? Oh, man, you know, when I get home, I'll be wanting to bust down a chick or whatever like that. Man, I said, man, if you don't get on out that house, paying $2,000 for a place that you don't even be at ever, just the house stuff, get that out of there, man. So a lot of times y'all be having housing and utilities, but you don't even be there. And so I eliminate that cost too, and then I tell them to put it in an investment property, and then I go from there. But look, he got savings and investments. The lion's share of his savings and investments, of his money is going to savings and investments. Housing and utilities, I think that he can cut that if he really wanted to, because I would just be living on the road. Food, $836 a month. Okay, discretionary, $534. You get into the bag. The insurance, $379. Gas, $174. Phone, $162. And subscriptions. I think his budget is great. I don't see nothing wrong with nothing that he got going on. I can't see a flaw in his budget. Shout out to Kevin getting to it.
So in the month of June, I spent about $800 between groceries and takeout. I come home and I fill up my fridge with groceries, and it's a sense of accomplishment for me. With travel nursing, generally, you always get some sort of stipend or reimbursement.
Yep.
These stipend and reimbursements are tax-free money that they hand you,
Yep.
and it allows you to keep a large chunk of your pay untaxed. I get $1,000 for my reimbursement / stipend for food and housing. I pay.
Guess what? I don't see any woman anywhere in the picture. There are some jobs out there that you have to do that is very difficult to be able to maintain a family. So if a lot of y'all are trying to get into these careers, maybe you should probably not so much focus on love, because then it's going to prohibit you from really being able to do what you got to do. It's a very, very, very difficult thing when you're building and you're running it up and you're taking care of business. Brina says, as that 24-year-old is doing very well, that's because he ain't got no expenses. He ain't out here tricking on these chicks. He ain't taking them out to eat. He ain't got no kids that he got to pay child support for. He ain't worried about trying to make sure that he take care of a woman that want to be taken care of because she don't want to go pay day. He ain't got to worry about that. He don't have no student loans. He ain't got none of that. And so he probably lives his life carefree. He can work as much as he want. I tell guys that's single all the time, or guys that just got a relationship. I say, bro, you just got out of the relationship? Yeah. I said, y'all got any kids? No. Some of them have kids. Some of them don't have kids. I say, so what you doing? I work. I do my job, my 40 hours, and then I come home and I be chilling. I be playing video games. Man, you ain't got nothing better to do. You ain't got nothing better to do. People was asking me yesterday, some of the people that's closest to me, they was texting me. Shout out to Carrie. Shout out to a lot of other people. But there was some other people that was texting me, and they said, dog, you been in the studio since 5 a.m. yesterday. This was yesterday. And then I did the show, the night show, and I was still in the studio. And so I went out and I did a couple things, but in large, I was basically in the studio all day. And so when Rita calls me a lot of time, my wife, for those of y'all that's not familiar, when she calls me a lot of times, she check in, oh, you do this, you do that. Oh, did you get a nap? Make sure you get a nap and all of this stuff. And then she noticed and she said, you still in the studio. Do y'all know I did not leave the studio until about, what time did I get home? 12:30 last night? 12:30. Sometimes I go out, I go party. Some people go and see me. I might stop out somewhere and say, what up? Maybe go get something to eat, stop at the bar, take a shower because my place is right up the street. But this is where I live. I work. My daughter is out of town. My chick is out of town. And so for me, I was like, ooh, wait, that means we about to run it up. I could go and work as much as I want. That's how I get excited. I don't get excited over a bunch of other stupid stuff. I get excited because I'm like, man, I could work as much as I want today, and I don't have nobody to stop me. Because when you, listen, we make sacrifices all the time. I could work as much as I want. Wait a minute. You mean I could work for almost 20 hours, take a break here and there, take an hour nap, go get something to eat, stop and play on somebody's show, do an interview here and there. I could work as much as I want. If I had the opportunity to, if I had nothing else going on in my life, all I would do is just work because I love what I do. I love getting to the money and I love working. And so for me, when my chick go out of town, I'm like, it's bag chasing time, baby.
A $14.50 a month, and that includes rent, utilities, and all the furnishing that comes with it.
Paid off his motorcycle and his truck. He don't got no debt, paid off his credit cards.
So right now, working as a contractor, I don't get a 401k currently, so I have to take care of my own retirement and my own savings and my own kind of investment work. I do have a Roth IRA. I do have a high yield savings account. I also keep a HSA. I also have about $10,000 in a certificate of deposit.
I don't care about.
I grew up in Fresno.
Don't care about none of that.
I had intended to do, it just sort of fell in my lap. I always wanted to be a business major and take on an entrepreneur role. Like my parents, I thought I would run their shop or expand our farm.
Somebody said, listen to this, forget all of that. We heard all of what he got to say. Somebody said the key word is that you got to love what you don't do. Don't just follow AD. I love what I do because I make a lot of money doing it. I love making money. Listen, what I do comes second to what I get paid for what I do. I don't know if you missed that. I don't know if you caught that. What I do comes second to what I get paid for what I do. I like getting richer. I like working. I like grinding. I like not having no bills. I like being able to put my money where I want to. I like driving down the freeway and throwing it out in the air if I want to. I love what I do because I know that I'm productive. It don't matter if it's corporate America. It don't matter if it's content. It don't matter what it is. I love what I do because I'm productive and I'm great at it and because I've mastered it. I put in my 10,000 hours. You think it was easy for me to be able to do what I do on a regular basis? Take a lot. When I remember when I first started, it used to take me 2 days to edit a video and I was just editing. You think editing is fun? People look at content creation and act like content creation is easy. Content creation is hard as hell. It's hard as hell. It's a grind. It's a hustle. It's a hustle. It's hard. Yeah, the finished product is great at looking at it when you're like, oh, yeah, I got a sense of accomplishment. I done what I did. All the part in the middle is difficult. That ain't fun. I just love to hustle. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler to my core. I'm a money-getting mother effing hustler, and I'm more than my D. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, they'll tell you. Look at the people in the chat that'll tell you. It's hard. It is not easy. It is difficult. But shout out to him for getting to the bag. Let me read.